the channels.
Okay, very good. I call the planning board meeting for June 21st, 2022 to order at 6 p.m. Actually, it's not on the agenda, but the first item is the salute to the flag. Please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the only announcement I have is that you're more than welcome to record the meeting. You just have to let the chair know, but I don't see anybody recording. Okay. Next item, do I have any comments from the board members? Not seeing any. We'll go to the minutes of 4/19/22. I think you have them in front of you. Do I have any additions, corrections on this? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept as written.
I make the motion we accept them as printed. I read them at home. I got them at home.
Okay, very good. I have a motion from Les, second.
Second.
Second from Arthur Armenta. Okay, and any other comments? No comments. All in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, say aye.
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 Aye, and the chair votes aye. Opposed? Not hearing any. They're accepted unanimously. Okay. Next item on the agenda is we're moving to the A&Rs. First A&R is Doyle Road, Hitchcock Avenue. Please introduce yourself and
Right.
do your presentation.
All right, Trevor Fletcher with Graz Engineering, and I'm the surveyor engineer on the project here. And yeah, so we already did one of these for the other side of the project, the 6 lots we did on Doyle and Hitchcock. This is just going to be directly across the street from that. It's a large 85.6 acre parcel, and it has quite a bit of frontage on Hitchcock and Doyle, and we just kind of divided it up all into 200-foot frontage and appropriate acreage lots up until the northern section where we have a lot more acreage, which we have a reduced frontage lot on, which I believe we have a reduced frontage application in as well.
You do,
for
and
that.
it's scheduled for a hearing on July 5th.
July 5th, okay.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, and yeah, so basically we just kind of chopped it up as best as we could with the frontage and making the lots as rectangular as as possible, and meeting the upland requirements, which is shown all on the right side, all the upland calculations and the the area and frontage calculations for each lot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's nothing too special about this one. Quite a bit of wetlands that we delineated over the course of several days when we were doing the boundary survey, and then some of the interior and the rear ones were just located by GIS because they don't really pertain to where the buildings are going to be, and they're just kind of out back. So.
Okay, very good. So they all meet the requirements of the zoning.
Correct. Yep.
And
They
then
all
this
have.
zone again is, what is the zone they're in?
The zoning they're in is the R80, which
R80.
requires 80,000 upland and 80,000 square feet of area, and then 200 feet of frontage. And then the reduced frontage requires 50 feet of frontage and at least 240,000 square feet, which is triple the zoning. And I mean, we got 40 acres on there, so
Yeah.
no problem meeting that.
Now, just for note, we're just approving these as lots, not whether they're buildable lots or not.
Correct.
As you know, and you have a reduced frontage here to make it a buildable lot, but do I have any questions from board members?
No, I should point out that obviously, even though we approved this, you still got a ways to go with conservation and
Yeah, we're on the process
my
of
old hunting
doing.
territory down there, so I know basically that you go in there with boots if you July.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're in the process of doing, surveying out and doing soil testing and stuff like that, so we can prepare the septic plans for conservation review and Board of Health review, and, so we're in the process of doing that, just one at a time. It's a lot of work to be done out there.
Good thing Mr. Grasowitz can swim.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Gould. Any other questions, comments?
No. No. Pretty cut and dry.
Pretty cut and dry. Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve the A and R, if I'm not the correct term.
Yes.
Endorse the A and R, I'm
Endorse the
sorry.
A and R for recording, yes.
Okay, now, Art, did I hear a motion?
I'll make that
With
motion.
that word endorse?
Endorse the A and R for Doyle Avenue and Hitchcock Road, right?
Okay, very good. And-
I'll second it.
Okay, Les Richards seconded. Okay, all in favor of endorsing it?
Aye.
And opposed? Not hearing any. It is endorsed. We do have the papers over there, but why don't we go to the other A and R before we stop and sign them?
Sure.
All right, thank you guys so much.
Okay, very good. Next A and R we have is on our agenda is 85 4th Street, but their paperwork has not been turned in yet.
Correct. The engineer has not submitted a stamped A and R to us, so I reached out to him for possibly the next meeting.
Okay, very good. So we move on to 35 Stoddard Road.
Yeah, 35 started, we do have. Yeah, the A and R is present.
Okay, very good.
Action on that?
Nope.
Okay. That's a tough place out there, so we need to take a very close look.
Okay, the 35 Stoddard Road. Let's see, which one, oh, that's called the Hamel and,
And we're gonna look at this sideways until I can
Yes.
flip it,
on our computer.
rotate it.
Okay, we have an A and R. Do we have anybody presenting this? If not, I know you had some comments on this, Mr. Gould. Do you have any comments on this one?
Which one?
The Hamel Road, which is the 35 Stoddard Road.
No.
Okay, Nicole, do you have any comments on this since we don't have an applicant here?
Not, so 35, so Stoddard Road, number 35 Stoddard Road was the land of Pamela Hamel, and she subdivided her lot into another lot to the left of her property. So they're just looking for the A and R approval of conforming to zoning lot
And
for that
they
area.
do meet the 3 criteria for an A and R.
Yes, yes.
Okay, very
I would
good.
just like to say something, that
Yes.
when we do one of these, we need somebody here that present
Okay.
the applicant here, you know?
Did the
Yeah, I'm not
applicant
sure why,
express-
I'm not sure why Chris Stoddard is not here. He's the engineer that submitted the application. I'm not sure why he's not present,
Okay,
but I can reach out to him. Yeah, and in future, have them present.
okay,
Is that out at the lake?
No,
Oh, this is the, okay.
yeah, Stoddard.
okay, so, well, we don't have an applicant here. So it's a pleasure of the board whether they'd have any concerns that they could express. Looks pretty straightforward. Besides, we don't have any applicant here to question. Do I have a motion to endorse this A and R?
Well,
I hear no motion.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, very good. Armenta moves to endorse the A and R. Well, if not, I will second the endorsement. Do we have any discussion on this? Would anybody like to make any comments?
no,
No?
here
Not
again,
all-
like you said, it's pretty straightforward, but it's
What's
just...
that?
Here again, you said it's pretty straightforward, but the thing is that, you know, the applicant should be here. Somebody-
Yeah, oh,
somebody
I
should
don't
be here.
disagree on that, but it's a straightforward, has the correct frontage.
All right,
It's a-
I'll take your word.
It's on the road,
Okay,
and there is
all right.
enough acreage there before it went blank.
Ooh, we're back.
Okay,
Okay.
and if in, just in the future, if you could,
Sure, have the
mention-
applicant present. Yes.
Yeah, you know, I know he probably thought, being an engineer, he would show up, but,
Yeah, yeah, no.
okay, so something
understood.
might have happened, you
Yes,
never
moving
know.
forward.
Okay, all in favor, I will call a vote. All in favor of endorsing this 35 Stoddard Road A&R, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and opposed? It's endorsed. Okay, very good. I will call a 5-minute recess here to sign the A&Rs, or do you want to wait till the end?
We can wait, yeah.
Okay,
because
yeah,
Trevor left.
actually, everybody's
Yeah,
gone, so
Trevor,
we can
yeah,
wait.
Trevor left,
Yeah,
Chris
no,
isn't here,
no
so
need
we
of
can just
having it.
have them pick them up.
Okay, now we have reduced frontage lot, Doyle Ave, reduced frontage lot as identified map 18. Now, is this a public hearing?
Yes, it is a public hearing. It was advertised in the Gardner News. However, it was not, the abutters were not notified. So the abutters have been notified, and it's been continued to July 5th.
Okay, very good, but we first need to open the hearing before we continue it.
Yes.
And would you have the notice? I don't have it up here. Or could you put it up there, or is there any way to read the notice? That's one way to get it.
And let's see.
Okay, very good. This is a public hearing notice. Notice is hereby given that the Winchton Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, July 5th, 2022, at 6:05 PM to consider the request for a special permit for reduced frontage lot. Property is identified as Doyle Ave, Winchton Assessors Map 8, Parcel 6, owned by Asher Construction LLC. Said property is located in the R80 Rural Residential District. Lot with reduced frontage special permit is requested, is just south of,
Of 35 Doyle Avenue.
The Doyle Road, as identified in map 8, parcel 8, owned by Russell and Barbara Hughes. The hearing will be held second floor auditorium of the Winchton Town Hall, 109 Front Street. Information is available in the Winchton Planning and Development Office. All interested persons should plan to attend. Alternative translations and accommodations are available by advance request by contacting the Planning and Development Department at least 3 days in advance. And with the reading of the notice, I call this hearing open at 6:13. Okay, due to a problem with notifying the abutters, we have to continue this to July 5th. And we can't take any testimony at this moment. We just open and continue the meeting. If I don't have any comments, do I have a motion to continue this hearing to July 5th at a time certain of, what time are we going to meet next meeting?
That would be 6:05.
6:05, to a time certain of 6:05.
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Armenta moved it,
Second.
and I have second by Mr. Goodrich. Okay, all in favor of continuing this hearing? Say aye.
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 Opposed? Not hearing any. Hearing is continued to July 5th, 6:05 PM. And one other item, the next item is Heisman Production Plan, but I have one other item here I'd like to take first. And then we'll skip back, which is 401 School Street, special permit referencing a fence on the property. Warren Fields.
Yes.
Welcome, please introduce yourself.
I'm Warren Field, owner of 401 School Street.
Okay, and now, as going back, 9 years, you've had the junkyard?
Quite some time, yes.
Yes, and in the original conditions, you're supposed to have a fence and not have any material within 15 feet I might be, I'm coming off the top of my head, so I don't know exactly, but...
Within 25-foot opening to the access road, 15 feet back from the original length of the cleared area, except for a 25-foot opening for the access road.
Right.
Okay.
But I think at the time, that whole clear opening, if you're looking at the property to the left, that's a whole separate lot. That's 411 School Street, which really has nothing to do with 401.
Now, what are you saying? Now, you have your entrance there, you have your sign there.
Right.
Now, how,
So I think we need 150 feet of frontage there, I forget
Yes.
what it is. So it goes over 150 feet, then it jogs back 5 feet, and then it comes back over 75 feet.
well, as I remember, when we first approved this, we were thinking that we asked for a fence to go along the property there. 25 feet, was it?
I don't know, I didn't, I
Do you
wasn't
have
here.
it right there in
No.
front of you?
Nicole has it.
Nicole,
Oh,
Nicole
you
has
have
it.
right there.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, yeah.
here we are, right here. So the
Oh, yeah.
operator shall install a fence parallel to the street line and not more than 15 feet back from it for the length of the cleared area, except for a 25-foot opening for the access road.
Okay, very good.
See the pit, you can see what she's got up there, I don't know, or maybe you got it right in front of you.
Yeah.
So 1/8,
The access to go out back is probably 25 feet wide.
yes.
So you're,
So the number 177 is 401 School Street, and the number 182 is the 411 Warren
Right,
Hughes
and
Lane.
at the time, I think they thought that whole cleared opening went with
We
40.
did.
Right,
And I don't think anybody cleared up that misconception at the time,
right.
because you went along with it, as I remember.
I guess, yeah, I guess I did. I guess I wasn't understanding.
Mr. Gold,
This goes back 10 years. If you go up there, you're gonna find that the yard itself is behind a 40-foot vegetation lane of trees. The 25 feet is there. I went up there, he's complied with the law and so forth. You might wanna check on something though, because my memory serves me as it is 2 separate lots. The lot in the front is a separate lot from the lot in the back. And what was determined in the decision was the lot in the back. This is 10 years old. I think this is a lot of baloney because if for nothing else, I haven't heard a damn complaint up there from anybody on School Street. So,
I was gonna say, I
I'm
speak
trying
to the
figure
neighbors
who
from
put
time
this
to
on.
time, and
yeah, I don't know how it came to us, but it came to us, so now we've got to address it because it is in the conditions, and
Right.
if,
Well, how come you haven't addressed it before?
because nobody brought it to us.
Oh, who brought it to us?
I have no idea.
Well, you're the chairman, you're supposed to know
No, I'm
what's going
not.
on.
May
I'll
I
put it
comment?
off to Nicole.
Yes, so Warren has to get his, you're a Class 3, correct?
Right.
Special permit renewed yearly by the Board of Selectmen. And it's been brought up a couple of times as far as if he's complied to everything in his special permit, and the fence keeps getting revisited for whatever reason. So we just wanted to bring him here, you know, all these years later, just to clarify, you know, is the fence something that is going to be enforced and needed at this point in time? Or shall we put a memo in his file that we've discussed it at this planning board meeting and whatever decision is made? So,
Well, members of the board, go up and take a look. I know you all did before this and so forth. The 25 feet is there. The area is, there is a gate there. You can't get in until somebody is there. You can't see one damn car in that yard. You just can't do it.
well, originally, when we did the driveway, that's why the engineer put a slight curve to it so you can't see anything out through the woods. I mean, even in the wintertime, you can't see out back there.
Okay, very good. Mr. Goodrich?
I only got one thing. Now, you're saying, Warren, you don't own that,
I do own that other cleared opening lot, yes.
you do own it, okay? Well, also on the permit, there's supposed to be no cars parked there at all. It says in the thing, it says,
At 401 School Street, yes.
no vehicle should be parked within 10 feet of the property line and not on any berm constructed for stormwater management.
Right.
All right, now, there's three cars in a flatbed trailer there right now.
You'll have to wait.
Yes.
And there's also a storm window that somebody dropped off today, so I don't know, you know, just know it's there or not, but there's a storm window laying there.
Okay. Well, I don't, yeah, okay.
So, you're saying you're getting around this by putting those cars there, but saying it's not the lot that you approved. So even though they thought you should not put cars out there,
Technically, I should not have cars on 411 School Street. That is correct.
yes. Now 411 is the lot we're talking about, or the
No,
next
with-
door lot.
We're talking about 401, I guess, right?
Yes, we're
Well,
talking about
401 is a big
401.
lot,
401 has
411 is a
got
lot
the
where
fence
you
problem.
have,
411 is identified as 182, right where the cursor
okay,
is, right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is a lot when this first was given to you, that we thought no cars out front, and there's been cars there, trailers and everything else. Mr. Gould, now, you wanted to say
So,
something.
once again, if he buys a car at auction and the gate's closed, they're gonna leave it on his lot. There is no business
But
done.
there's,
on-
there,
no,
there-
wait a minute,
cars
now,
have
let
been
me
there
finish.
weeks.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
You're two separate lots, and you're gonna find out that the permit was granted on the second lot, not on the first one.
And
Well, I gotta tell you, at the time it was granted, the understanding was that no cars would be out there in front. Now, they probably did not say it, but if he's gonna play hardball and say,
Then
oh, I
tell
can
him to
put
take
cars
the-
out there
then-
because
then
it's
tell him to
technically
take it
not
off
the
the
same
front lot
lot,
then.
then we can play hardball in the same way we want that fence. So.
Yeah, no, I'm not
would
opposed
you
to
be
moving the
amenable
cars.
to clean that area up on that side?
Right.
Okay, yeah, I would be amenable to, we cut you slack on the other thing if you,
That's
putting it
fine.
up there.
That's fine.
Great. Okay, where do we go from here, Nicole?
Okay, so I can put a memo I'll type up a memo saying that this meeting took place, and we've agreed, that the board has agreed that the fence is not necessary at this time. However, 401 is the only property that the special permit was issued for, not 411. So 411 should not have any vehicles or anything, any items, vehicles out for sale along that area, and it is not pertaining to 401 at all. They're two separate lots.
Are you gonna move all those cars from that 411?
Yeah, there's three old-fashioned cars out there that I
Yeah,
can,
there's three old cars and a trailer,
yeah.
There's one
as
old
of 4:30
car
today.
Warren,
From the movie Cars, the Henry Hudson.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Packard.
Yeah, the
packet,
old-
it's a packet
the old-
there, yeah.
so the cars are on 401 or the cars are on 411?
The cars are on 411.
Okay, so you'll be removing the cars, okay.
Yes,
All
I'll remove them.
And
Okay.
I'd appreciate if you pick up that window, because that glass is, somebody's gonna throw that out in the road, and you know it, I know.
Yeah, I don't know how, I didn't see it. I haven't been up there today, but I'm not saying it's not there.
I'm not picking on you for, believe me, I just
Yeah.
asking you if you would pick it up,
Yes,
please,
yep.
you know?
Yep.
And
Great.
Warren, if you wouldn't mind signing in?
Oh.
Yeah, thank you.
I think we got it figured out.
Okay, so he's going to be
So
removing
now
the
if it's brought
cars?
up next year,
We'll have,
this permit, we'll have an answer for
yes, we will, yep.
whoever is saying it.
Yeah, so I'll make it as part of the file, like I said, that he's only to conduct business on 401, not 411 School Street,
Okay,
as per the special permit.
Yeah.
And then we agree that a fence is not necessary. However, he does still need to abide by number 6, which is no vehicle stored within 10 feet of the property line.
thank you, Warren.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you, Warren.
Now we'll get
Thanks.
this
Thank you,
straightened
Warren.
out after 10 years. Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, very good. The next item on the agenda is Housing Production Plan Survey with Ryan Doherty and Karen Chapman. Please introduce yourself, side in, and
Karen Chapman, Planning and Development Director from MRPC.
Ryan Doherty, Regional Planner at MRPC.
Okay.
How are you this evening?
the floor is yours.
So we sent a survey, a housing survey to you for your review. I'm hoping that you've reviewed it.
I did review it, but I didn't make comments.
Do you want to go through each question, or do you have specific questions for us, comments on the document?
On the survey itself,
Yeah.
I have to say, no, I don't. I didn't realize this was what we were doing, so I didn't familiarize myself beforehand. But does any other board members, have they gone through the survey, and do they have any comments?
I've looked at the survey, I've gone through it, and I didn't know if I was gonna pass it, I was supposed to pass it in or not, but I haven't been around lately either.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just to see if there are questions that you want to ask and that you believe are pertinent to Winchendon before we put it out to the public.
Yeah, I think they're all
But
pretty,
I think they're all fairly, you know,
I haven't,
centered.
yeah.
Now, I have to say, we have 3 surveys going, or 2 surveys going right now, and this will be a 3rd one, so. you know, it might be but when it comes time to correlate all the facts, it might be nice to take a look at also the 2 other surveys that have been going around, not within the same, venue, you know, not for the same context, but they do cover some of the same areas, so you might be able to glean some information.
What 2 surveys are those?
Could you help me with that, Nicole? Because,
Or
I'll
should
have
I
to-
say
I'll
who's-
get it to you, Karen.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
Yeah.
right. I didn't know who to chase.
You take
I,
it.
I'll get you the
I'm
information
not far
that you
away.
need.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
Yeah, so, all right, so the
I thought
Winchton
this
Housing
was very
Production Plan, Karen, it looks like they're pretty straightforward questions, age.
Yeah, so the first bunch are more demographics, so we can get an idea of who's answering the survey, and also, as we collect the census data, we can see if it correlates, you know, is it the same? And then, you know, we ask specific questions about what kinds of housing is needed in Winchendon, what kinds of housing you would like to see or accept, or, you know, would you vote for? Do you know any people that need affordable housing, things like that? We explain what affordable housing is, and we explain what, like this question 9, we explain what affordable housing is defined as. And then we ask people, do you fall under that category? Like, if your housing is more than 30% of your income, then you would be eligible for affordable housing. I mean, excuse me, you would say that your current housing is not affordable, even though you pay it with the detriment of whatever you don't pay.
Yeah,
You
you
know
have
what
to.
I mean?
That or,
Because the census data does give data on how many people are cost burdened, and so we want to see what people say on this question, because if I said to you, can you pay your housing costs? Well, what are housing costs? If it's just my mortgage, yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have got approved for it. But it's your mortgage, it's your insurance, it's your private mortgage insurance, it's your taxes, you know, it's all of that stuff is counted as housing costs. So we wanted to explain that in the question before we asked.
yeah, it'd be interesting to get people's thoughts on how they feel about their housing.
Right, right. And then, you know, if they can meet their housing costs, is it difficult to find housing, affordable housing in Winchendon? And this is like the housing types that you think are needed in your community. You know, is it senior housing, low-income housing, moderate-income housing? So one of the questions I had for you about the survey is, do you want more explanatory information before the survey, like definitions of things? Like, I don't want them to go through and say, well, I don't know what it is, so I'm just gonna put no, or, you know. That's why I wanted you to read them and comment on them.
I think the simpler it is, the better off
Mhm.
you're gonna get the people to answer it. If you've got a lot of writing or a lot of getting into their personal things, they're gonna say, wait a minute, no, I'm just gonna do this. I think, I went through this thing, and I thought it was pretty good. I did.
Yeah.
Really did.
And we can also put hyperlinks in the questions as well, so for the people who are curious, they can just click a link and get the information.
Yeah.
We could always do that.
Yeah, I think they're pretty well explanatory, the questions that I was just reading there.
Okay.
Unless there's something that you think people won't understand, you might give it a little more explanation, but I think most of those seem,
And I also wanted to ask if you wanted, instead of explanations, do you want us to put like a one-pager of maybe some data that, your number of seniors is increasing, your taxes are increasing, your values have gone up this much since 2010, or any of that before the survey?
Is that what you were talking about? Do you think that's unnecessary
I don't think it's
information?
necessary. I don't
Or do
think
you
it's-
think that's
Yeah,
necessary?
I don't think it's necessary.
I think that was what Les
Okay.
was alluding to, that,
Okay,
yeah, and I think people will not read it, I hate to say it.
right.
Yeah.
And what'll happen is, whenever we have a public information meeting, we can go over the survey, we can explain it more, and we can add the data that Ryan's been collecting, and so we can give a full picture.
Now, how will the survey be distributed?
That was my, one of
mean,
my
not-
questions. So how do you usually do it? Usually, we do the survey and we leave it up to the town to do whatever it is they usually do for information like that.
Could you chime
Is
in on this?
there, if you do the survey, is there a link that we can
Oh,
put
yeah.
on our town
We
website?
can have a link, we can have a QR code.
Mhm. I think a link and a QR code would be good, because a lot of people are
Yes.
tech savvy, and a lot of them would rather scan a QR code and do the survey. And what I think too, it's important to keep the survey simple and to keep it on the shorter side, that way and I think, I don't know what the board feels, but, kind of less is more. I think you're more inclined to do a survey, I know myself included, if it's simple, and if it's quick. So, so if you want to create the survey, and you can send me the link and a QR code, and we can put it up on our website, and we can share it, that would be great. Now, this is something we need to have a public forum for.
Yeah, and I was thinking September, once everybody's back from vacations and everything.
Nicole, I also think that it's good to put up on the thing, but I also think that there should be copies available at Town Hall.
Sure.
At the
Yeah,
planning development.
I can print them off and make them available in the Planning and Development Office.
And planning there,
And
and maybe
the
up
senior
Cedar
center.
Center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
senior center, or anywhere where the public congregates, and
Yeah.
to be able to do the survey and maybe have a little area, they can return it back to me, and that would be great, and then we can
Yeah,
get
so
them to you.
when we're finished with it, we'll send a PDF of the survey that you can make copies.
Perfect.
The QR code and the link,
Wonderful.
and maybe a little blurb. Do you need a blurb to put on the website or anything?
Yeah, if you want it to come from you, sure. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, as to the
Now,
purpose of it and, why we're doing it. Mhm.
Karen, when do you think this survey will be ready for distribution, as what she said? Were you talking September on that?
No.
Okay.
No, if you have no questions on what we've done already, then it's ready to go. We
Okay,
can just
very
go
good.
back to the office tomorrow, Ryan can make a QR code and get the link.
And how long do you feel that you'll want this survey out there?
4 to 6 weeks,
4 to 6 weeks? Okay, I'm just thinking of events coming down the road
right.
that we might be able to get hard copies out to, but there's nothing.
Nothing
Not
coming
till
up.
October, and that's a little too late. That's probably where I was going.
Yeah, then, we'll get the information back like, end of July.
Yeah.
We can, analyze all the data and put together a presentation for September.
Mhm.
Yeah, because there's also a half dozen different Facebook sites that
Yeah,
deal
those are
with
really
region.
good to get them out on.
Share.
We can
Mhm.
get them out on that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll get it everywhere that we possibly can. And I think cutting and pasting even what's up top, under the Winchendon Housing Production Survey, header, is great too, because that pretty much sums it up as to why we're doing it.
Yep,
Yeah, so we can just cut and paste that and put that on the website. Mhm.
okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's great. Thank you for doing this.
No problem. It's what we're here for, right, Guy?
What's that?
It's what we're here for, right?
Yes, right. You know, to help however we can. Now, this whole process, how long are we looking at on this? Just to,
December 31st is when the contract ends. And
December?
I want to have it done by then.
Okay, well, I hope you do then. You know, and that gives us a housing production plan.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we're, at the end, once you say, okay, it's good, then you have to provide a letter of review and support. The Board of Selectmen has to provide the same. And then we submit it to DHCD, Department of Housing and Community Development. And they have 30 to 60 days to review it and come back with comments. If they have comments, we'll fix them and then send it back in, and then they approve it. And then it's good for 7 years.
And that process you hope to complete by the end of the year?
Right.
Okay, that's when the contract.
If we get it into DHCD by the end of the year, and then they have comments in, say, February, we'll still
Oh, you'll
do
still,
those. Yeah.
great, okay.
I mean, that part is the easiest part.
So you're not gonna thumb your nose at us after December 31st?
No, no, no.
So,
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, after this, you know, Ryan's been collecting data, and so we'll start making tables and graphs and start the analysis and start writing the plan, so that when we get the survey results and after the public forum, we'll have more information from the town and can put that into goals and recommendations.
Now, when do you see the public forum?
September.
September, that was the September. And
Do-
one forum is enough to meet the criteria? Or,
If, how well do you gather people?
okay, not well usually, but.
no, historically,
yeah.
no.
But who does, you know, when it comes to government and things like that?
So our planning board meetings, Karen, are September 6th and September 20th. They're the first and third Tuesdays of the month.
So you want to do it at a planning board meeting? Or do you want to
Do
have
you
a...
feel that we should do it at a planning board meeting? Or
Well-
do you want to do it outside at a separate date and time?
Tell you what, let's set it up as a planning board meeting,
Okay.
and we can discuss that in the next meeting or so, on whether
Okay.
we might want to tweak that, but at least we'll have a date firm that, you know, you can be shooting for, and if we want to do it a week ahead of time or something. But I think that way, you know,
Why don't we shoot for the 20th?
Okay, September 20th?
Yeah.
Okay.
because we don't have that much, you know, doing most nights.
Because the 6th is right after Labor Day, and
May not get a lot of participants.
Yeah, it still might be some nice weather, and nice weather, you won't get people out.
They'll still be in vacation mode.
Yeah,
do you have Zoom capacity?
We do.
yes, we do.
Are you doing Zoom now?
Well, the town's doing Zoom.
We
Some-
are.
Some boards are meeting Zoom, some boards are meeting a hybrid, using the owl.
So could that meeting be a hybrid? Then if people can't...
I can
Yes.
double check with Linda, but yeah, I don't see
Yeah.
why.
There's no reason with that much time, we can't get our ducks in a row, because,
It's just a suggestion to get more people.
yeah. Yeah, we've got one committee that's doing hybrids right now,
Okay.
the Master Plan Implementation Committee.
Yes, and conservation occasionally does it as well, if
Okay.
there's certain
Yes.
members that cannot be present or applicants. So yeah, we can set up a hybrid Zoom meeting for September 20th
Okay.
for the public forum as
Great.
part of the planning board meeting.
Yeah, and we can think on that between now and our next meeting. If
Yeah.
anybody has any suggestions, ideas on, might get more of a turnout, or you see a date that might be more preferable
Yeah.
to get people out.
Let's talk about it.
What's
Let's
that?
talk about it.
Yeah.
And Chair, if I may, do you think that having more than one public forum is necessary? Or do you think just see with the one and then go from there?
Usually, we don't do two,
Okay.
because if there's not good turnout at the first one,
Okay,
what-
so we'll stick with the September 20th then.
I mean, if we find that, yeah, we should have another one and people are interested, yeah, we absolutely can.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want you to be able to get your information and get everything, all your ducks in a row by the end of the year or whenever, you know, the due date is.
All right. So we'll send you that tomorrow, and we'll start collecting data and preparing the plan, and I don't think we need to meet again until, do you want to meet right after the survey closes? Or,
I mean, when are we gonna close the survey? If you get it, you.
so if we get it to you tomorrow, that's the 22nd. Say you put it out Friday, or Thursday, or Monday. Just say
Say Monday
Monday.
the
Say it
27th,
goes
yeah.
out Monday.
Mhm.
And then we have, 5,
So that's August 8th, right, 6 weeks?
yeah. Have it run through August 8th.
Yeah, so we can talk about it at the August 16th meeting?
I'm going to be at a conference, but Ryan,
What was the date?
August 16th?
16th?
Sure.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do it with the two of us, but, you know, I don't really, I'm cool either way.
Okay. Survey start.
Okay.
Excellent. It's a solid plan. And so we usually, there's the initial blast of, hey, we have a survey, and then like 3 weeks later, another blast to remind people, because most people, as soon as they see it, they do it. So if we have another reminder, another bunch will do it.
Yeah, we can do that.
And you can announce it at each of your meetings. Hey, go do the survey.
Yep,
And,
that'll be the two people that watch.
hey, you two people, get two friends. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brian, and thank you, Sharon.
All right, have a pleasant evening,
You too, thank you.
and a nice 4th of July.
Yes, you as well.
Oh yeah, that's coming up. I forgot
Perfect.
about that.
Oh.
July 4th.
Oh,
Okay, thank you again.
Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, next item on the agenda is new business. We'll move on to the appointments. Well, first thing we should start is planning board reorganization. Do we want to do the reorganization tonight? Which is chairman, vice chair, and,
Why don't we wait till he gets the full board?
yeah, why don't we wait till, maybe we can get Amanda to be one of the positions. Even though she's alternate, she can still take a position. But I said, even if she's an alternate,
Yes.
she can still take a position. Just can't vote if there's more than 5. Good, yeah, we're missing Garrett, I forget that.
All right, so we'll wait till there's a full board. Okay.
Okay, MJTC appointment, an MRPC appointment. I hold those two positions now. Does anybody want one of them? Then I would respectfully ask the board to reappoint me.
I make a motion, we reappoint Guy Carpacero from,
To MJTC and MRPC.
right.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Okay, it passed unanimously, I was just joking. Next item is the last item, Article 9, signed bylaw that failed at town meeting. How do we want to deal with this? Do we want to start talking about it right off the beginning at our next meeting and go from there, or put it on the agenda and have discussions, and, maybe the word will get out, some people will give their input.
I think we have to really figure out why the thing didn't pass, because it missed by just a
Yeah.
few votes, right? I forgot, yeah, it wasn't that many, it was.
No, and it didn't, I think if
No.
people understand the signed bylaw, that would not have been, happened. It just, I wasn't prepared, to present it correctly, And, so people didn't understand what the sign bylaw was. So I think we need to get more information out there.
Yes,
If,
yeah.
we can put it on our agenda maybe for discussion on the second meeting of July,
Okay,
and maybe we'd get a little write-up on the Courier on it,
yes.
get some people coming in or some, who knows?
Mr. Chair, if I may, I believe putting the two sign bylaws side by side to see what was allowed before and what would be allowed now is key. I think that having the consumer understand that there's a lot more that's allowed with this new sign bylaw than there was with the old, especially where times are changing. I think it's important to see it visually, side by side. Yeah.
That's a good idea, and maybe that might be the way we set up that second meeting in July, and the discussion is go over what the
Side by side.
differences are on the two of them.
Yeah, I think education is key with, and visuals are good too. I suggested recycling some of our cardboard and making the old sign and the new sign so people could see the size difference, because it really does make a big difference.
Good idea.
So I think as much as we can educate the public on what the Article 9 entails, the better.
Sounds good, so that'll be, for our,
That'll be for our second meeting in July. Yeah, which would be, let's see, it would be July 19th.
Okay, very good, we'll have that on the agenda. Any other members want to bring up? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second?
Oh, there you go. You threw me a curve, Mr. Gould, and motion to adjourn. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, and it is,
It is
Time to-
6:48.
I got time to get to my next meeting.